Hello my friends, welcome back to Cafe Bagheri. Today we're having a holiday party celebrating finally the end of 2020. I'm going to teach you how to make a couple of tasty food items for your upcoming festivities, and I'm going to throw in 2 delicious cocktails. So let's get right to it. So we're going to start with our greeting cocktail, the Crimson Joy. Our recipe includes, of course, vodka. That's the best way to store your vodka, by the way, in the freezer. 2 ounces of vodka for this cocktail. We serve it in enough 1950s style coupe glass. You'll see what that looks like. We're going to have some pomegranate juice. We're going to put 1 ounce of this. The other fruit juice that goes in this cocktail is your cranberry juice cocktail. That's 1 ounce. So the next ingredient, and probably the most important one, is a cinnamon and clove flavored simple syrup or bar syrup. Now simple syrup, as you may know, is equal amounts of sugar and water, and it's used in a lot of cocktails. But people flavor simple syrup to have different characteristics. This one has flavor of cinnamon and clove in it. It's equal amounts of ground cinnamon and ground clove with sugar and water, really. So we're going to have 3/4 of an ounce of this delicious flavored syrup, a little less than an ounce, in the mix here. 1/4 ounce of lime juice here. There you go. The last item is a bit exotic, sour cherry syrup. Now, if you have a Mediterranean market or Persian grocery store or Eastern European market, you can find those. This one is from Croatia and it's awesome. Just a smidge, 1/4 of an ounce. So now we have everything that we need to have in this guy. So we're going to put our mix on ice in the bar mixer. You want to shake this for at least 20 seconds, 20 to 30 seconds. This is enough for 2 cocktails. So you adjust and multiply your recipe amounts for a number of your guests or neighbors or whoever is coming for holiday greeting. There you go. And you can serve this in martini glasses, chilled martini glasses. They just look especially festive in these 1950s style coupe glasses. So here they are, Crimson Joy. Now here's what you can do. You can pre-make, multiply the recipe by however many drinks you want to have. This is enough for 10 cocktails that size. This is how much it would be. And it's sort of like your holiday punch. So that cocktail was very good. Now we're going to make our next item for your holiday party. It's going to be our cheese puffs. Very simple recipe. We're going to go on high. It all starts with water, butter, and sugar, okay? So we got a cup of water. You've got a stick of butter, but you cut it in pieces, about 7 or 8 pieces, so that it melts easier and faster. This is on high, so the butter should start melting very quickly here. To that, we're going to add our salt. You can use a wooden spatula. I use my trusty silicone spatula that I use for just about everything, because we're going to be using it in a minute when we start working with the dough and with the cheese and with the eggs. This becomes very important. We're going to bring this to a boil. The butter is melted completely. I'm going to go down to medium high because it's already boiling. We need to add our flour, right? Cup of flour here. You want to sift it to get rid of any lumps. There you go. Then use back of a spoon or your fingers, just push the last of it. Now that's sifted through. Now we're going to use our spatula to kind of push this around to make sure we avoid any lumps. Now what's going to happen is in about 30 seconds to a minute, all of your flour is going to be wet and incorporated with the butter and water. What you want to do is keep pushing the flour, or your dough at this point, against the bottom of this pot to make sure that there are no pockets of flour here. You want to be quick because you don't want to burn this. That looks like a pretty consistent dough at this point. We want to turn this off and push it off. We got 4 full eggs and 1 egg yolk. Very quickly, but one at a time, we're going to break the eggs, but then at this point, we're going to use our trusty electric hand mixer to mix the dough and the eggs, one at a time. That's our 4th full egg. 5th one, we only use the yolk, okay? So you basically flip the yolk in there, and in the process, you kind of get rid of the whites. There are devices and gadgets in the kitchen that can do this, but you can even use your hands. You can use your palm and let the whites go through your fingers. There you go. That's a yolk only. This is really all the mixing you needed. It's time to add the cheeses. We have about 1.5 cups of Gruyere cheese, and we have 1/2 cup of Parmigiano Reggiano. You can add blue cheese, you can add cheddar cheese, as long as the total amount of shredded cheese is 2 cups, okay? We're gonna add all of the Gruyere here, and we're going to use our trusty hand mixer to continue mixing. There you go. Now we add the Parmigiano Reggiano. Like I said, you have some flexibility in what kind of cheese you use. And mix it up, try different cheeses, and see what you like best. Okay, so this is now incorporated. I use my spatula to kind of work this back into a seamless, connected dough format, because we need to now scoop them on the cookie sheet to be baked. So now we're going to scoop out the dough onto our cookie sheet. So we're going to grease the cookie sheet thoroughly. You can use a parchment paper on this, but I've gotten better results by greasing the cookie sheet with this cheese puff. So here's what you can do. I use these teaspoons and kind of tidy up 1 scoop and just lay it down like that. You can use a piping bag. So put the dough in portions in a piping bag and just pipe about between a teaspoon and tablespoonful of dough, and just lay it down, just like when you make cookies, right? If you were making chocolate chip cookies, same deal. One more here. Kind of work the little dough ball into the size that you want. This recipe, using teaspoon-sized scoops, makes about 40 of these cheese puffs, okay? Okay, so now we have all of our dough scooped out, little portions on 2 cookie sheets. What we need now is to tidy up these scoops just a little bit to make sure they all come out uniform and same shape. You just wet your finger a little bit and just find little rough edges that you think are going to come out weird, because the goal is for all of them to be round and pretty. We have them ready to go in the oven. The total cooking time for this is 20 to 21 minutes at 400 degrees. Okay, so while our cheese puffs are baking, we can make our next treat, the cucumber bites. All we need are 3 simple ingredients, all very key in this thing. We have Persian cucumbers. These have very thin skin, so you don't really have to skin them. Don't use the pole cucumbers, the dark, bigger ones that you find in grocery stores. These are now available in most American grocery stores, or you can buy them from Mediterranean or Persian markets. They're called mini cucumbers or Persian cucumbers. We're going for about 1/3 of an inch in thickness, and I'll cut it diagonally instead of going straight down. I'll go at an angle. We're going to make about 6 or 8 of these. And of course, you can make these ahead of time, no longer than an hour ahead of your party. So I'm going to lay them down on this plate, and we're just going to serve it from that plate like that. Now, you want to use salty feta, Bulgarian or French feta. If you have Persian feta or Lebanese feta, those are all good. Now, what I do is just with clean hands, you can take a little piece, about half a teaspoon, and just push it down on the cucumber. There you go. We do the same thing with our tomatoes. For this, I use cherry tomatoes or plum tomatoes. And then what I do is I just kind of press it on to the feta. The last thing you need to do for the cucumber bites, sprinkle some black pepper on there. Check this out. That's all you need. So our 21 minutes of baking is finished. They look perfect. Look at the color. Now we're going to put them on a rack so they can cool off. So this is what we're looking for. Some browning on the edges. They should come off of your cookie sheet real easy. Look at that. Now this is the size of cheese puffs when you scoop a teaspoon size. What you can do is do tablespoon size, or even do them bigger, the size of a dinner roll, so you can put it in the basket of bread with your rolls and with your biscuits and what have you. So the party has been a success and the night's coming to an end, and we're going to make our final cocktail, which is our dessert cocktail. Very simple, has 2 ingredients, equal parts of rum chata. So 1.5 ounces of rum chata here. And we have 1.5 ounces of ever popular Fireball whiskey, cinnamon whiskey. This is one of my favorites, and it's a perfect finishing touch to any evening. You need to shake it at least 20 seconds. There you go. And we get our glasses. These are on the smaller side. Because they're sweet drinks, we don't want to go more than 2 ounces. So, for garnish, you have a few choices. I chose here to garnish with these Lindor chocolate balls. They have white chocolate, super dark chocolate. This is a milk chocolate actually. So we're going to just run this sword through it, just like so. And we just basically lean it on the drink, so as they're sipping it, they can enjoy the chocolate. Now the other touch, these Ferrero Rocher, I hope I said the name right. So here it is, our dessert drinks for the night. Thank you for having spent this time with us. Happy holidays. Enjoy it with your families in safety and happiness. Please like this video. Subscribe if you haven't yet. Hit that little bell button so we can keep in touch. And please come back and see me here very soon.